Hey, look, you made it. Thanks. And make sure you give yourself a like on this video and leave a comment underneath whenever I say something that you might agree or disagree with. Now let's go to the video. Okay, how do you feel about ladies talking about men issues generally? I just want to know.
First of all, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. Because I'm not a woman.
What do you identify?
Because I'm not a woman.
What do you identify as?
I know what it means to be a man because I'm a man.
Okay.
You get? I cannot sit in a room full of women and start talking about the woman experience.
Of course.
Because I am not a woman.
How y'all doing? How are you doing? How am I doing? I'm doing good, and thank you so much for tuning in on this particular episode of the Simon Says podcast. Where am I? I'm right here at Twiva Studios because Twiva is actually a company that does what? Guess they actually connect influencers and business people, and they come together and make blissful content. And right there is something that you as a business person can take advantage of if you want some quality content for your business. So come on down to Twiva Studios. They're right here in Hurlingham, and someone who decided to actually come on down. His name is Chito Ndlovu. Ndlovu. I love saying your name.
Why do you have to?
You have to do it like this because it has so much essence. No, why don't you add some pizzazz to it?
It's just Ndlovu. Like I've been saying it my whole life.
Serious?
You can't pizzazz it enough.
Wow. But yeah, I guess you don't see
At one point, you're just like, okay.
But embrace the name.
I do embrace the name. Heck, I use it. So
of course, it's your name.
Yeah.
And you've seen him so much on Kiss 100 and everything. You even hear him so much.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for even coming on by,
Anytime,
man. I appreciate it because, and the reason why I got you right here, primarily, I wanted to actually discuss and understand because right now, I want to discuss are men are they misunderstood in society? Or do people even seek to understand them? Or are they just heavily criticized?
Yeah.
Because even as a guy, because even there's a lot of content out there on social media, even as guys, like guys need to do this so much, or guys are failing.
Yes.
Are you getting that perception, or what are you getting from your end of things?
For me, I get a whole lot of negativity towards men. I feel if we look at a scale, let's say we have a scale of 100%, I feel 75% of information and anything driven towards men is criticism. It's negative. It's not positivity. 25% is the positive. Yeah. Let me give this simple one. Right. When it's your birthday, what is usually gotten for a man? Handkerchief,
watch,
socks, watch, tie.
Usual.
No one is, it's rare will you find a man whose wife or his girlfriend or whoever has bought him a car, a house,
or a good
piece
game,
of land,
or something serious,
or something he actually wants.
Exactly.
So lazy gifts that men get,
or are women bad prize givers?
And then put it as no child, and no child. Even Father's Day and Mother's Day, which one is remembered more? Mother's Day. Even in terms of advertising, there is more advertising and more preparation on Mother's Day. Father's Day, in fact, creeps up on you. Like on Monday, all of a sudden you're seeing Father's Day. Like, wait, Father's Day is this Sunday.
Even you have to Google it. When is Father's Day?
Yet Mother's Day, in fact, Mother's Day, we have two conflicting Mother's Days. We have one in June and one in May.
There's one in June?
Yes, there are two conflicting Mother's Days.
Why are they conflicting?
Because that's the thing. The society, not to say it's a bad thing, but the society has looked and given a bit more positivity towards the women. Yeah. And the men, you just told, even in war, who dies most, it's men.
Yeah,
you just thought that way, figure it out yourself. Which I think has a ripple effect back. Because what happens now is you underappreciate the man, but you expect this guy to provide, to be a good father, to be a good mentor, to protect and to do all these things. But he is being given 25% of the love in the household or in the society at work. Even at work, look at how bosses talk to, when a woman goes wrong in the office space, how the bosses talk to her. And if a man goes wrong and his boss is a man, how he's spoken to.
And then now here's the thing though. Sometimes even when I feel like that, when I feel like a lot of men, we get a lot of negativity come towards outside. Isn't that to some extent a good thing? And I mean it in this way. Sometimes even the bad thing that comes towards you builds you a level of grit. Even we can handle, you can handle yo boss, you're fat, so you lose some weight or whatever. Yo Simon, what's up? Hit the gym, whatever. You can take that. Yeah. But and hence you're able to make real adjustments, and we're hit with the realities of life in the sense that you are not given the luxury of living in an idealistic world. You're living in a practical world. Have you seen that?
I think even that is a misunderstanding that men take things easily, because Remember, we are all a product of our societies and especially a product of our households. So if someone grows up in a household where the only communication they got from their parent was, you're bad, you're useless, you're stupid, you're not intelligent, they won't be intelligent. They will not be. They will never, even if they are, their demeanor and everything they do will be a demeanor of, I'm not intelligent, I'm useless, and I'm this and I'm this. We have the misconception that when they come into society, men can take it. Who says who? Why do you think more men are committing suicide? It's because they're misunderstood. They're being criticized all the time. Why is it the fact that even when it comes to men, most men are miserable? Let's give an example.
Yes.
Go to B&D on a Friday. Stand in B&D. Who's drinking the most?
Of course, man.
It's the men who are drinking more.
Yeah.
Even though they are babes, you will notice the men are drinking more. That in itself gives you an idea of where you are as a society. Where you are even as men, where are we? You'll notice most men have a lot of issues going on. There's a lot of stuff they have to deal with. That now when they come into society, we are not to say society should sit here and be like, here is a red carpet, walk on it.
Yeah.
No, it's to say, let there be a treatment of humanity, because we're humans as well.
Yeah, yes, there is, but it's hard to view someone as a human when you're always viewed as a violent creature.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, even you're viewed in a negative light, but at the same time, you're also seen as stronger. So hence, you can quote unquote take this. But I've also, even for myself, for me, I just always think like, yes, you can. Do you think that men need to be called out to some extent then? That's what I mean.
Everyone, men, women, everyone needs to be called out.
Called out, called out like, oh, it's okay.
Or being cuddled.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be cuddled once in a while.
You like being cuddled.
You love being cuddled.
You like cuddling.
You like being cuddled. You shouldn't. I think we have this, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's a misconception that when even, let's say, a man who loved before, it's only recently when male chefs were looked at as this is a man who is cooking. But before, you'd be looked at like, well, naenda kupika tu kama wanawake.
What are you doing?
You're getting what I mean? We have created, and I dare say, negative connotations and negative things attached towards men. Who says a man doesn't want to be cuddled? Who said he didn't want to be told I love you? Who said he didn't want to be told you're handsome? We have created an image that men don't want to hear those things.
And then does that also go further to the extent that now then we've raised up in the sense that since men cannot be appreciated, hence women don't see the need to actually show that appreciation towards even men. That,
and also the fact that we have raised, there's a huge generation, a lot of people in our generation, we are millennials, so a lot of millennials into Gen Z don't know their dads. That's the other factor.
Oh, I know mine.
Most guys don't know them. I also know my father, but most millennials and Gen Zs, most of them don't know who they know their father's name, but they've never interacted with their father on a personal-to-personal basis. And then in the same millennial and Gen Z, we have a lot of fathers who worked all the time, and you only saw them either at night, if you even lived in the same town.
True, I get you.
There's also that second aspect about it. So yes, whereas I know my father is Mr. Ndlovu, used to come to the house and all those things. I'm giving an example. Then you don't see him much either way. So you don't spend time. So you don't know who this man is.
Because provision was the primary thing.
Exactly. So I'm paying for you school fees.
Yeah.
And then note most parents and most family households used their responsibility to make it look like they're loving on you. So I'm paying your school fees. I clothe you. I feed you.
What else do you
want me to do? But nigga,
yeah,
you are supposed to do that.
Yes,
I didn't ask you to come into this world. But then, it is your responsibility to do that.
I totally get all that. But then now here's the thing. You see now, different generations have different needs.
Exactly.
Like even us now, of course, we're gonna be different dads.
Yeah.
Hence, we're gonna rate because now the needs that we have, even the needs that we've seen that we've now gotten from our fathers. Now we have now been able to able to give to now our kids, but that will always be a need every single generation. There's no actualization like you are the perfect. There's none like that though.
But you cannot excuse. You see, we're talking about the whole man situation.
Yeah.
We cannot excuse a lack of for a generational need. It is every generation's responsibility to be better than the previous generation.
True.
What many of our parents managed to achieve better than their previous generation was monetary comfort.
True.
They managed to live in better houses, built better houses, earned better money. Most of our parents were the first people in their families to own a car,
Go to school,
go to college or to uni or whatever it is. Yes, there was that step forward in that generation. But then what happened was you've still been raised in a traumatized environment. We still had fathers, and since we're talking about Ben, let's focus on it. We still had fathers who were raised by fathers who were still not there, or were drunks.
Yeah.
They were either drunks that didn't care, only came to the house, made your fees were paid and whatnot, or in a household where your father was not questioned whatsoever. What does that do? You have a generation of traumatized children.
Okay.
Who then become adults, get children, and raise another generation of traumatized children. Because this trauma here was not dealt with.
Okay, now here's the
So
thing.
remember, we've gone, because we are coming to the why men are criticized and misunderstood.
Yeah.
We have to go back to the genesis. So you have a traumatized, and I dare say it this way, most of our fathers, most of millennials' fathers and Gen Z's fathers are traumatized. They're traumatized. They're still a child. Remember, a child doesn't know I'm a boy or a girl. Yes, they understand that as a gender.
Of course.
But
what do you identify as?
Every child at the end of the day still wants love. They want affection.
Of course.
Every child wants those things. So now, what happens when you don't give this child love and affection? Just give them food, give them clothes, and you go play.
Now here's the thing.
What does that child do? That child grows up imbalanced. So they understand the role of provision. They understand as a boy, when I become a man, I should provide for my family.
Okay.
I should ensure they are protected and all those things. But they don't understand that as a man, I should also show love and affection to my children and to my partner. Because even in most households, there are very few households you'll be in where even kids will say, I saw my mother and my father even kiss each other on the lips, or peck each other, hold hands or hug.
Yeah.
We look at them as trivial, useless things. But I'm sure even for you, Simon, the older you get, you begin to realize some of those things form you as a person now and as a human. Because at the end of the day, we are male, we are female, but we are human beings who need different emotional, spiritual. Remember the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
The hierarchy of needs is there for a reason.
True. And now here's the thing. Here's my only thing I will push back. When it comes to, like you mentioned a whole bunch of traumas and everything. Trauma is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse,
but like that's something trauma is not an excuse.
But
it's
trauma,
it's not an excuse.
But trauma,
it's not, because people have because the thing is, when you start now, one thing I have an irk about when people start mentioning about traumas and everything is as if people are giving people excuses as to why my behavior is this way. Hell no.
Okay, let me ask you.
It's your responsibility to actually now. Yes, you have realized that this is your trauma, and maybe you as a man you misbehaving this way and so forth. What are you gonna do about it?
So now let me ask you this question. I come in here and I shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
I shoot you in the head and I walk away.
Yeah,
you happen to survive.
Yeah.
You happen to survive.
Yeah.
But you now have a plate in your head.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be as functional as you were before?
I'm gonna work through it.
No,
I'm gonna work through it.
But
let's
walk.
No, relax.
Breathe.
No, take a sip.
Let's walk. Let's walk. I've shot you in the head. You're not gonna be as functional.
First of all, you want to be violent towards me, but go ahead.
You're not gonna be as functional as you were before.
Of course.
Even when you work out of it and you stand and you can come here and
there's gonna be something
there's gonna be something that is affecting you. We look at and that's why I was saying when it comes to men, we look at men's mental health as you're a man, get over it, figure it out. But the person you're telling to, they've been shot. Let me give you another analogy.
Not always that
Let me
serious.
give you another analogy.
Yeah.
You have two perfect feet, right?
Of course.
I chop off one. What happens?
That's why this violent thing.
No!
I don't know if I feel safe.
Why I'm giving you such a graphic analogy is because if I cut off your leg, you're no longer able to walk with both legs.
And
what happens? What happens? You need crutches
or
a wheelchair.
And I've had crutches before.
To walk.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
The reason why when it comes to anything emotional and mental is because we can't see it.
Of course.
But a traumatized person is the same as a person whose leg, and I'm not talking about people born that way.
Yeah.
Somebody came and enacted somebody violently pushed you off. Somebody violently cut off your leg.
Okay.
Somebody that's the way it is. Only that it's been done mentally. Okay. So what happens is, I do agree with you. Trauma is not an excuse for why people should behave badly or treat other people badly.
Exactly.
We agree there.
Yeah.
However, you need to realize some people don't realize they are traumatized.
Okay. That is
99% of our fathers don't realize they're traumatized. Okay. 99%.
Of course, because but then we do realize that indeed, even as a man, you do realize because our responses are more violent, like approach. Like if you like sometimes approach me in a certain way, I'm gonna fight back if you say something.
And why do you think you respond that way?
Because I don't like that. You like what's going on?
It's because
and I think that's okay. And I like that. I like being honest.
Yeah.
I like there's a comfortable violence that you can have with another man. There's a comfortable violence. Even there's a level of like aggressiveness that a man can show one another, and it's not negative. And ladies out there would now start interpreting that this is a man behaving this way because they are traumatized or they're evil.
You see,
because we also communicate between us guys. Yeah. We communicate differently amongst each other than we communicate with a fellow woman.
Yeah.
And that's something, even I think that's a level of disconnect when now you hear ladies talking about men's topics. So now I want to ask you this. When it comes to even how you see ladies talking about men and how they behave, what do you think? Are they coming from are you seeing a more, are there more, why are they pushing such a, how do you feel about ladies talking about men issues generally? I just want to know.
First of all, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. Because I'm not a woman.
What do you identify?
Because I'm not a woman.
What do you identify as?
I know what it means to be a man because I'm a man.
Okay.
You get. I cannot sit in a room full of women and start talking about the woman experience.
Of course.
Because I am not a woman.
You don't have your time of the month.
I am very also, in a way, apply that also into men conversations. Why women feel the need and the opinion to talk about men is also because we as men don't talk to each other. So women feel they have to come in and talk about us and how we should behave. But you see, they're telling us how we should behave from the eyes of a woman, not from the eyes of a man. There's some things, yes, men do that are men. I mean, there's just stuff men. Even when you see dads and you see moms. Yeah. Dads throw kids in the sky. When a mom's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But you see, as a dad, one of your roles as a father is you want to raise your kid to be able, like, kid, you're going to take risks once in a while.
Yeah.
So when I throw you up, this is me showing you what a risk looks like.
Exactly.
When you're up there, you're just going to trust. Life is I'm going to get down and I'll be fine. You see, we also have a role. And that's why, and so even when women come and they're talking about men, it comes up from a negative perspective because, number one, as men, we don't talk to each other. Number two, and I will go back to this, there are men who are traumatized, who've not dealt with their trauma, who are dating women.
And vice versa.
And vice versa, and women as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this woman comes with all her baggage and her trauma. This man has come with all his baggage and his trauma.
And
they
it's
come
a nice
together.
traumatic relationship.
It's a beautiful,
toxic relationship.
And what happens is her experience is an experience of a traumatized man who has no idea what he's doing, and vice versa. His experience also is of a traumatized woman. So instead of these individuals going back into their cocoons and I need to deal with my trauma, I need to understand, because see, when you deal with your trauma, you know these are my triggers. So when Simon says, "You foolish guy,"
I like the way you said Simon says.
He's not saying, "Chido, you're foolish." He's probably coming from a joking way.
Yeah.
But maybe all Chito heard in his life was, "You're foolish."
You're not foolish.
Shut up.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to believe that.
So you see, what my response may become if that's my scenario is, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And you go at it.
And you start being aggressive.
But you realize that's a trigger. So when you learn to deal with your trauma, now you know your triggers.
Exactly.
So when the trigger comes as a man, how do you deal with it? So we have a society that is talking about men, telling men what to do, but no one is showing men what to do. Women sit, and I love it when women sit in forums and talk about, I want to be treated like this, I want to be treated like that, if it's from a relationship perspective. Yeah. I love it. I'm one of those people who love it when I see women blooming, growing. I love being in an environment where everyone, both men and women, are growing.
Exactly.
Everyone
That's a beautiful
is blossoming.
Thing. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. But I think the biggest mistake we've made as society is that we have sat down and now decided this is how we want men to be.
I've seen.
And then we have told the women, you can be anything you want to be. Reach for the stars. Do these things. And then we've told men, you this is what you're supposed to do. You should provide. You should protect. You should be, you get.
I get you.
But and also the other thing for me has been that we have, and I say this a few times and sometimes people go, I think one of the failures of woman empowerment, woman empowerment has not empowered women. It has told women you are a man. Because what is the motto for woman empowerment? One of the greatest mottos for woman empowerment is what a man can do, a woman can do better.
Abu sip for a second because I want to tell you guys for a second. I want to tell you guys, hey, you guys can actually even come right here at Twiba Studios and shoot content just like this because these guys are actually located right here at Hurlingham. So make sure even you come on by, you as a business person, you want great content, kind of like what you're seeing right now. You're a man or a woman, you can come here and make great content right here at Twiba Studios in Hurlingham. And the camera guy right behind here, you can't see him, but he's gonna be here for you. And you're gonna give a chance to actually see him if you come on down to here to Hurlingham. And let me hear what the heck are you saying that women empowerment has now gone wrong?
Woman empowerment is a beautiful thing, but and you see everything has pros and cons. For me, one of the failures of woman empowerment has been what a man can do, a woman can do better. We have not. So what does that create? It creates a competition between male and female. It does not harness a unity. This is the fact of life. I cannot be pregnant. I'm a man.
Of course.
I can't get pregnant. I don't have a womb.
Okay, the pronoun guys will come again.
I can't get pregnant.
Okay, yeah, you've confirmed?
I don't have a womb.
Okay.
I do not have a womb.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Now let's talk about a tradition. A woman is the one who has the womb. She's the one who can get pregnant.
Nurturing and all that
and
stuff.
And the nurturing.
Yeah.
Why? Because I can't get pregnant, that is not me. You get what I mean? However, she needs my seed and her egg to come together in order to make a baby.
Of course.
I think one of the beauties and the amazing things about pregnancy and the process to getting pregnant is you need two people to tango.
Of course.
And you need this aspect and this aspect to come together. Men and women will not be the same. In everything we do, we will never be the same.
Even how we communicate.
Even how women have, one of the things I say about women, which I wish and I always encourage anyone doing woman empowerment, women are multipliers.
True.
When women
take
charge of a business, it multiplies.
A good woman.
Okay, yes, when a good woman takes it multiplies.
Hey, we know some of you.
Like women are naturally multipliers.
Yes.
Men are naturally growers.
True.
I know your dirty mind is going in another direction.
That's what it is. I'm assured.
Men naturally, what we men do is we build. We sit down, we have a vision.
Exactly.
You tell yourself, Simon sat one day and said, I want to do a podcast. You made sure you built that.
Exactly. We came to Twiba. We right here.
You figured it out and you're doing it and you're building it.
Yeah.
And guess what a woman would do with the same thing? She would take it and all of a sudden it's a radio, it's a this, it's a that. It's multiplied in this. And I feel we don't celebrate that aspect about women a lot. We are telling them, you see what that guy is doing, you see what that man does. Yeah. You go, what he does, do it better. And you might find how women have also handled us as dudes, how we've handled the corporate sector or life is, we've handled it from an aggressive place of view. So when women come into our spaces, what happens? They become aggressive.
Yeah, but and then what
most
happens
of them,
is,
let me speak. Yes. Most of them become aggressive.
Because being honest, because when there comes even like when you even get into politics, or even get into leadership, they require you to have some masculine energy. You have to tap into that. Because even some guys who choose to even let's say get into the makeup industry, you have to tap into the feminine side kind of things. Even guys who are naturally models, you have to tap because it's just different roles that you have to tap into.
You have to tap into all those different roles. But what ends up happening is most women get into the position. The man gets into the position, and you will notice a difference. You will walk into an office and be like, "Hey, the babes here are so aggressive." It's also because when you talk about that thing for men being misunderstood and criticized, when we sit as men in a room, the way you were talking, there's a certain aggression we will have among each other as men. That is not an aggression to say I am better than you. No. It's an energy. It's just that it's the testosterone in the room that just needs to get out.
It's just normal.
It's normal, and we will come out of there and walk back,
and we're easy.
Whereas when women come into the same space, we have to
tone
it's
it
misunderstood as
hate.
These guys hate each other.
They're aggressive.
Oh, they're aggressive with
toxic masculinity.
Oh, Jesus.
do you think about ladies who, because even when it comes to it, even the term itself, toxic masculinity, has even been used in a way to show a disingenuous attention like towards men in seeing them like they should be overly criticized. Even back to the topic, like even that end of things, like you've seen that has actually been, that has been in a way being overly used by women, even some guys, to make themselves seem better than other guys, that they are getting rid of their toxic masculinity. So like now we are better now, I'm better as a man. But let me just say this, some level of toxic is not bad. Like here's what I mean and here's what I mean by this.
Wow.
Here's what I mean. You're toxic, by the way. And here's what I mean. I cannot not be toxic to someone else, and here's what I mean. People's definition of what's toxic has now been deemed as anything I don't see fit. And hence now that goes, if you're not toxic, that means you're liked and loved by everybody. And being comfortable in your own shell means that you are able to move in your own authority and in your own steps, in a sense that you're not moving with the guidance of adjusting to other people. But in fact, you're moving with the step, you're not looking to step on your toes, but I'm also looking to step firmly towards the step direction that I want. You see what I mean? So now when I say you cannot, what do you think when I say like, can you really be not toxic to everybody?
First off, me, when it comes to toxic, I've had this conversation with guys where there was somebody who was telling me, we're having a conversation, similar forum, and we're talking about toxic masculinity. And they said a statement, because when one of the statements I said for me was, I think the statement men are trash is one of the most politically incorrect statements that has ever existed.
Say that again. Say that again.
When we say men are trash, it's the most politically incorrect statement that has ever been created. Because if I stood in the same space and spoke about the opposite gender as being trash, it would not be taken lightly. If I stood in the same space and talked about another race, another community as being trash, we would not be seated here. But I think, Chief, I would be in jail right now, sitting there and wondering how I'm going to be checking out. But what we've done is we took that, and I remember when I said that, and I was telling somebody, that men are trash thing out the window. And I said, no, but you are not trash. I said, no, it's not about I am not trash. And, if you're not trash, it shouldn't hurt you. I said, no, it's not about me as a man not being trash. Why are we using men and trash in the same statement? Because if Simon broke your heart, Simon is the bagger. Not the rest of us. Exactly, but you don't put all of us in the same bracket because of, it's the same way even when we talk about tribalism in this country. Just because this one person from this particular tribe has done this, that doesn't mean the whole tribe has done that to you. Exactly. Even in a race conversation. There's a generalization of things. And even when you're coming to, and I was coming to that place where you're talking about how then what happens even when men and women are coming together, there's this thing of, and I have noted that, where because I'm enforcing my boundaries, I'm toxic. Because I have said, don't talk to me like this. Don't. Me enforcing that boundary, he's toxic. Because he doesn't conform to my needs. Exactly. And I've heard a lot of that happening a lot of times, even in spaces where sometimes a chick was like, I'm one of those people, full disclosure, I'm one of those guys in the office who doesn't hug babes. Okay, interesting. Why this? No, I just don't want to. Okay. You know what I mean? I have nothing against them. Oh, you're not one of those people. I'm just like, hey, me and you don't know. This is my personal space. This is my temple. He's not silent. This is my temple. And so I have been in scenarios where someone comes and then they want to hug me and then I do. Wait, pause. Hold on. He's like, yo. I'm like, or I do that thing or I do that. I've done this before when somebody's coming. When I see them coming from a distance, I do this. I'm like, are you serious? If they are closer to me, because doing that, I might end up assaulting them. Yo! I put my hand forward. That is public friend. And I've had some other things when people come at me, I'm like, whoa. Like, whoa, carry on. Not because I have anything against them as a person, not because I disrespect them as a person, but that's my boundary. I'm not comfortable being like that with people. Even, I love how you mentioned that there's now, even as we wrap up the conversation, I'm thinking due to the generalizations has led to now people not treating each
person as an individual, and then we're losing the actual value of individuals because we're busy now generalizing and now saying because Chito behaved this way, Simon, and I see him coming along,
he's gonna
behave the same
Yet
way.
we are
Or
two
Stacy,
we're two different people.
Yeah.
Because for me, hugging you, I'm like, I love to hug my close friends. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, dudes, I'm like, yeah, let's do the shoulder. Pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers.
I didn't get the shoulder.
But you see, but also with women, also because for me, I'm like, hey, I also need this is also my way of making the woman have a healthy conversation from each other at a distance. We gotta do a fist bump, a handshake, and I will respect you as you.
Exactly.
Or I will not. We don't need to do that for me to think you're a good person or whatever reasons people have for. Or I don't. And for me personally, I don't greet that way. So don't greet me that way because I don't greet strangers or random people or people are meeting or my colleagues that way.
Yeah, you've heard it, or else you get that. And that's wrap up on this edition of the Simon Says podcast. You guys make sure you actually even check out Chito on Kiss 100. You literally listen to him every
weekday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Exactly, and he's starting his own thing real soon. You might want to keep an eye on that. Real soon. You smell it coming. You smell it coming. It's in the air. And you know what else is in the air? The scent in this studio that you should actually be smelling when you come on down to Twiver Studios right here at Hurlingham. So make sure you come on down. You as a content creator, you might need some content that indeed you want to create for your YouTube channel, for your TikTok, for any other platform, even you as a business person, because right now we got to get out here on the digital platforms. Chito's out here making awesome memes and other things on his posts on Facebook and everything. You might want to check that out, actually. Chito Ndlovu. And you can actually even come down here and make great content right here with Twiver Studios. That's up on this edition. Simon Says, out. Sutoke hapa!